whether that was drugs, alcohol, self-harm, eating disorders, you name it, whatever it may be. I could not sit for the life of me with the feeling. Hi, welcome back to Still Addicted. My name is Isra, and if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, like, comment throughout the episode if anything sticks with you or hits you or whatever it may be, and share as well. That would be amazing. Thank you. So today's episode is about feelings. And I am going to be talking about how I actually learned to sit with those feelings that I used to try and escape from. So for years, I didn't actually sit with my feelings. I used to escape from them all the time, whether that was drugs, alcohol, self-harm, eating disorders, you name it, whatever it may be. I could not sit for the life of me with the feeling of fear, with the feeling of sadness, with the feeling of anger, even the feeling of happiness. I just couldn't sit with those feelings. So I think the one thing with recovery, I think basically it's the easiest thing to do is to actually put down the drugs and to put down the substances. The hardest thing about recovery is actually sitting in those feelings and being able to push through them and get through them. So it is tough, and I still find it really tough some days. Some days I find it really easy, and there are other days where I really struggle with pushing through them, and that's where I have to lean on other people to help me get through, which is, as I've always discussed, is for me, my thing is to get myself to a meeting and a 12-step meeting, and either ring my sponsor, ring another fellow, ring my partner, and just talk it through. But yeah, sitting in them can be really tough. Not gonna lie, it is definitely the hardest thing about recovery because we're so used to just running away from them. If you think about it, my substance abuse was, I used substances from the age of 11 till 31. So I used to always run away from all my feelings, but I include happiness in that because I wouldn't be able to just sit with the happiness. I wouldn't be able to just sit with the feeling of just being happy and just being grateful. I would always have to elevate it in some way or take it to another level. I couldn't just be. Do you know what I mean? And I do believe when you come into recovery, for me and for anybody trying to do the 12 steps, I really do think that that's where you find yourself being able to sit with yourself and understand those feelings and understand those emotions. For instance, now I tend to do this thing where I acknowledge the feeling. So if I'm feeling anxious, I will say in my mind and sometimes say it out loud, right, this feeling right now is just anxiety. The reasons why you're feeling an anxiety is because of X, Y, and Z. And I create that bigger picture of the situation. And to be fair, my partner really taught me something that has really helped me, especially over the past year, is to see the external factors, look at the external factors. And they could be as simple as, especially for females, you're coming on your period. Do you know, for me, my PMS, I go crazy, actually go crazy before I come on, and I forget it every month without fail. I forget it all the time, and I think my whole life is over. I can't understand why I get so frustrated at everything. I question every single little thing in my existence, and that is such a horrible place to be mentally. But I think now I've gotten myself into a routine of where I speak up and I speak about those feelings, and then I get asked, oh, where are you in your cycle? Oh, I'm coming on in a week. Right, there we go. We've got an answer for something. Or, for instance, there's a huge change in my life right now that's happening. One of the biggest things I've ever done in my life. So I have so much fear within me. Or I can acknowledge and say to myself, right, that I'm feeling this feeling, and this feeling is fear. That feeling is okay because of X, Y, and Z, these things that are happening in my life. This is totally normal, totally understandable of why I'm feeling that feeling, and it's going to be okay. And I think just acknowledging the feeling and saying it out loud, and then doing the next step of connecting with someone, speaking about it, and having that soundboard with somebody just really helps you understand it a bit more. So by you understanding that feeling more, it's easier to just sit with it and just allow it to happen and allow it to pass. But it is difficult, don't get me wrong, it is really difficult. I think as well, I want to talk about like my old way and the difference between how I was previously and how I am now. Is my escaping for me, obviously, like I said at the beginning, it was substance abuse, it was eating disorders, it was self-harming and stuff like that. That was my escape. I couldn't handle who I was as a person, and I didn't understand how to handle emotions. So things like, especially self-harm for me when I was a teenager, self-harm really relieved a lot of the stuff that was going on within me, because there was so much stuff going on in my family life, and I couldn't get to grip with it at all. It was completely out of my control, and it was so intense. And I think self-harming, it was just that relief for me. It was just a moment of complete relief, and it was as if I would just completely go into this bubble. And it was just, it's really fucked to say, but me, myself, and the fucking blade, that split second of it happening, it was just complete everything's okay, do you know? And obviously that is not healthy in any way, shape, or form. So then obviously it got onto when I had booze for the first time, it was that relief straight away. And it was just this quietness in my head. And the drugs started coming, and the same thing. It was just constant. Each time I'd pick up a new drug or go into a new chapter of my life when it comes to substance abuse, it was that I was chasing the relief. I was chasing feeling just like that. I'm okay. I can handle this now, because I couldn't handle anything that was happening within my body, the ups and the downs, the fucking sideways. Do you know what I mean? I didn't understand it, and I didn't know what each feeling was. I didn't know that anxiety could be fear and excitement. I didn't know that sadness could come into so many different forms, that it was depression, it was felt lonely, it was actually and a form of anger, a form of disassociating myself, discontent, and all of this stuff. I didn't realize that I was absorbing things from my family. But now, because I've done my step work and I've done therapy, I've been able to work through all of that. And now I can really pinpoint on which emotion I'm feeling. But this has taken time, and I am still continuing to learn this. I don't get it right all the time at all, but it's a work in progress. And the one thing that does really help me is making sure I open my mouth and I speak up about it, and I say it to my closest friends. This is how I'm feeling, because sometimes I'm not able to pinpoint it, but by having that soundboard, it becomes clear in my head. So then, therefore, I can see what feeling I'm feeling, and then I can work through it. As I was saying before, it's the fact that I do try and name my feeling, and then I can speak to somebody and have that thing. Another thing is when, especially anger, is something. Anger and excitement actually are two things that my impulsiveness will connect to. So if I'm angry, I want to react straight away and I want to call someone out straight away, or I want to make that if somebody's made me feel angry, I want to make that person, I want to hurt them straight away. Or if a situation's made me angry, I want to sort it out straight away and I want to control it and I want to make everything better again. Whereas now, when I have that feeling, I can have I name it, and then I take a breather, have a chat with somebody, and then process it. And whilst I'm processing it, I can work out what's next, what I need to do to work things out. Um, the happiness, again, that's another very impulsive emotion that I have. I want to get on it straight away. That's the first thought in my head when I'm happy, because I want to elevate it. I want it to be 100 million times more. Um, it's a case of actually like being like I'm absolutely buzzing, and I really, this is the one emotion where I really do try so hard to just sit and be and just allow my body to feel that positive energy, to feel that gratitude, just be content. It's so hard because I want to go, but it's a work in progress because I don't use, but I'll either ring somebody and absolutely like chew the fucking ear off, or I get really like high pitched, really loud, distract everybody in work. Yeah, just a fucking, I just go crazy. But I really do try and just like chill out and just be. But like I said, work in progress. We're not all perfect. Yeah, I hope that helps. Just to so wrap it all up, is with feelings and emotions, that is the hardest part of recovery. But once you get to a point where you can sit with those feelings and emotions, I believe that you're going to be okay. Like 100%, you're going to be okay. I can't say 100% actually. Take that back. I take that back. 99.9% you're going to be okay, because the feelings and the emotions are the things that we used to always run away from. And if I'm doing everything I can to not run away from them and sit in them and let and work through them and let them pass, then I can't see things going wrong in my recovery. But who knows? Yeah, I'll leave that there. Yeah, said, if you like this episode, if you want to see more, please hit the subscribe button. Please comment, like, and share the episode. That would be much appreciated. Thank you. Bye.